Some people don't understand the concept of daily winning. It is possible because some people don't understand winning as a daily outcome until now. Here at Champions for Life podcast, we give you ways to understand how to reverse your thinking about winning. That yes, you can, and that it is possible to experience daily winning. In small but powerful ways, you will begin to change your life and become the champion for life you have envisioned for yourself. Hi, I'm Jana. You will be listening to JDC, my husband, a father of 6, martial artist, entrepreneur, a servant of Jesus Christ, and a tough love kind of guy who will share with you experience, wisdom, and ways you can overcome any challenge in your life. So get ready to be inspired, encouraged, and motivated to take decisive action.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am here with Ms.Annette, and she is one of the amazing leaders here at Sovereign. And it didn't start like that. She's actually a mom, and her daughter's trained, all of this great stuff. So you're going to hear a lot about her. So before we get to her and all of these great things, Annette, why don't you let us know who you are and what you do and all of that good stuff?
Okay. Well, my name is Annette Vasquez. I work for a technology company, running one of the departments. I am married for nearly 12 years now, living in Howell, New Jersey, with 9-year-old twin girls. They keep me very busy.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful twin girls, man. They're smart and all of that good stuff, right? You must be, obviously, every parent is proud of their kids pretty much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just like amazing little girls. They're a delight. So how did you
Thank you.
find Sovereign? How did you go from, well, actually, before you even say that, why don't you share, what was the decision that said, I need to put my girls in karate?
Okay, so I actually trained. I had always wanted to train as a kid. Never got around to it. I played varsity sports, and there's always excuses and reasons. So I never got around to it. In college, it's funny because it's not really part of my personality, but I saw a commercial for a karate school, and I literally picked up the phone and called.
Wow.
And they said, "Oh, come in for an intro," type of thing, and I went, and I fell in love with it. And I knew I would. Even as a kid, I knew if I ever stepped in, I would love it.
Yeah.
So after going through that training, and I became a black belt and instructor, I knew that any children I had, I wanted them to be in the martial arts. And, of course, there's always that you want them to be able to defend themselves. I mean, that's what everyone's first thought is. But having done it myself, I realized how much more it really was. It wasn't just about, well, I can defend myself if I needed to. It was more about the confidence it gave me. I was in great shape. And it just gave me the confidence and discipline that I think was always there, but I never really channeled it until I started doing that. So I always knew if I had kids, I wanted them in the martial arts.
Yeah, and so what did it do for you specifically, like being a martial artist and training and all of that? What are some of the things that come to mind that you say, man, this is why you need to do martial arts?
One was definitely confidence. I was very introverted as a kid, extremely shy. I was an only child, didn't want to talk to anybody. Even in high school, even as I, got a little bit older, I did not want to speak in front of people. I had my friends, but, if you told me I had to do a report in front of the class, I mean, it would make me sick to my stomach. If you had told me at that time that a few years later, I would be teaching martial arts and, performing at martial art demos at like Shea Stadium at the time, things like that, like these huge crowds, I would have told you you're out of your mind.
There you are, right?
But there I was, once I got into martial arts, I had a great sensei at the time who really knew how to push me and bring out that
That thing,
piece of
right?
me that I was just holding back all those years.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. So now that led you to say, well, I want my daughters to do it too.
Yes,
What happened?
absolutely. Yeah, well, I didn't have children at the time, but I knew any children I had,
Oh,
I
you
wanted
have
them to.
children. They're in. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So now they're born and life is happening for you guys and all of that. What was that moment for you? Okay, now it's time to do this.
Well, one of my daughters, I saw the same thing that I had. Very introverted, would not engage with children, even on a playground. You know, normally kids kind of go up to each other and talk and become friends instantly. If there was kids on the playground, she would not engage at all. And being twins, I think you end up having a little bit more difficulty when it comes to independence, because they are together all the time and they become very dependent on each other.
Yeah.
And you see that tendency for them to become kind of, you know, they have their own little world and the rest of the world is separate. When they were about 4 years old, they got invited to a karate birthday party. And I thought, this is great. This is the chance that I'm going to be able to see if they like this. And it was not at Sovereign. It was at another school. And we went and they cried hysterically and would not step onto the mat.
Wow.
The entire time. And I didn't know what to do, but I know at the time I was saying, well, I'm not going on the mat with you. This is a kid's party. These are your peers type of thing. You're going to go, you know, if you want to be part of this party, you have to do it. They would not engage. They literally stepped on the mat. And I tell you, literally the last 30 seconds of the last game they played, they stepped on the mat, played that game for about 30 seconds. And that was it. Party was over and let's cut the cake.
Wow.
So I said, okay, well, either this is not for them or this is not the place for them.
Yeah.
So probably maybe about a year later, maybe less, I was thinking maybe we should try to give it another shot in another dojo, maybe that made them feel more at home. And I knew Kohai Heather from a Mother Multiples group.
Wow.
We met back in, my gosh, 2000, probably around January 2011 we had met. And we were still friends on Facebook and everything. And I saw she was working at a dojo. So I decided, you know what, let's give it a shot. You know, maybe this is let's just try this again. And when I spoke to her, she, you know, told me to come on in with the girls. And we walked in there and it was like the girls were home. They had no hesitation. They walked right in, they went on the mat and they just participated. It was a completely different child.
Wow.
So I knew this was the place. This is where we're going to have to stay, because this is, I mean, it was a total.
It was like you found a home for them in the martial.
Yes.
Wow.
So that was it. We enrolled, I think that same day, we enrolled the two of them. And I figured, well, I'm too old this time around. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
I'm just going to watch them. And little did you know that, because I mean, like, you know, I want everybody to know you, like, your involvement now. Like, I mean, so you came in, this is for them. And I did my stuff, and I'm kind of old. And I think it's a good time that I interject this story in here, right? So I never went to Howell during that time that you had joined. So I was teaching somewhere else or what have you. But I did meet you at one of the Shihais. We had a tournament, inter-school tournament. And, you know, looking around and walking around, my eye catches this blonde lady over on this side. And I see like a kick, right? And I go, whoa. And I look over there. So I say, I got to get over there, right? So I'm watching and I'm like, all excited, I'm vocal about it. I'm like, who's that lady over there? And your husband, Joey, goes, that's my wife right here. And I said, man, you got it going on, man. Look at that. And it was so, that's how I met you. That's how I met your family, interacting with your husband and kind of like say hi to you and all that. And so that you know, from you going into being on the sideline, this is for them, and I already did my thing, to, man, you are totally involved. You're even competing. So share about that. Share that little journey that you went through to get you where you're at now.
Okay, so like I said, I figured this is for my girls now. I'm too old to restart this journey.
You're never too old, man.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is
But
so true. Yeah,
I watched them, and I had a couple of surgeries over
yeah,
those past few years that, so I'd put on a lot of weight. So on top of that, I was out of shape. Um, I had put on a significant amount of weight, especially after having the twins. And, I would watch them. And when they started learning Taikyoku Shodan, that in my old dojo, we did that kata, but we called it blue kata.
yes.
So and I was like, I know this kata. Like,
You got you
I
excited.
I know this one. So I was like, I can help them at home and I can get them to learn this. This is great.
Yes.
And then, so I watch them on the mat and I would see certain things that I'd be like, oh, I just want to go over there and tell them to bend the front knee more, or, these little things here and there.
Yes, yes.
So little by little, by watching that, I was like, I can't, it was like I was twitching on the side. Like, I can't
Yes.
just sit here and watch this.
Gotta do it.
I had to do it. And at the time, I think it was, they had the May mothers train for the month of May
Yes, yes.
type of thing. So I had said, you know what, I'm going to try it out. If anything, at least I can be with my girls on the mat and, maybe lose some weight. But of course I started in May. And then toward the end of that month, I came home from one of the classes and just told my husband, I was like, I'm sorry, but I have to start again. I can't sit by and not do this.
Wow.
So I ended up enrolling and
It's
here
like,
I am
oh,
now.
my 3 girls are doing
Yes.
martial arts.
Yep. Yeah, it's all the girls and him.
I love it. Oh man, that is a great story. So then now you're there, you're training. How long you been training with us now?
I think this will be this September. Oh no, I'm sorry. This probably 3 years, almost 2.5 or 3 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So now 3 years later, you're getting your black belt, blah, 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 and you're training, getting your first degree. Now tell me, as far as your daughters, what have you seen in terms of tangible changes that you say, wow, they got that from Sovereign, and I'm so glad they're using it at home, outside. Can't really say school at this moment because we're in the quarantine. But with you at home and dad and themselves and all of that, what is that thing?
So there's a couple of things. One is definitely the discipline. They know, like, if they have a list of chores they have to do or something, I don't have to go after them and ask them to do it 20 times. They know.
It's so awesome that you say that, because
Yeah.
there's that's the common ground right there. All the parents that we've talked to already have mentioned that. The one thing is, like, I don't have to tell them. It's like they want to do it. It's like they know they're responsible to do it. And I don't have to, like, see their face go, ooh, they just do it. And they enjoy doing it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. They, siblings always fight. I mean, I was an only child, so I didn't get that experience. But from what I know, siblings just pretty much are always at each other's throats.
Oh yeah.
They have gotten to a point, I guess, that they know how to compromise. That, it's not something necessarily that we taught. So I think that the leadership quality has given them that understanding of compromise. And they still have their days where they, bicker or whatever it is, but they're pretty good at compromising and working things out on their own. When they were in school, just the difference in their confidence in class, their leadership. The one daughter that I said was just like me, who would never speak to anybody or engage with anybody. Her teacher this year, earlier in the year, said she's the mayor.
Wow.
She walks into class and she's such a leader that and she didn't know we did karate at the time either. She said, Michaela's like the mayor. She comes in and she is the leader. Kids gravitate to her. And she just has something about her that, and I'm like, this is the same kid who, like I said, a couple of years ago, she
Introverted. Yeah.
would not
Wow.
even get on a playground. So things like that were definitely big differences that I've seen in them, especially, confidence and definitely discipline when it comes to being structured, making their bed.
Yeah.
We don't tell them, it's bedtime, go brush your teeth. They actually look at the clock and say, okay, well, we should probably get ready for bed. But they might ask, can we watch, this extra show before we go to bed? There's certain shows that we watch as a family or something. But they know it's time, this is the time you go to bed, and this is the time you get up. And so they're very good about all of that.
That is awesome. Wow. That is so awesome. So now, like, shifting a little bit back more to you again, you have your career, family, marriage, all the responsibilities of life, right?
Yeah.
Here you are, right?
Yeah.
And you're in the leadership program. And in fact, you are in the teaching team. You actually teach. Tell us, how did you make that decision? What excites you that? Because I know for me, right? One of the things that I love about teaching is I'm passionate about what it did for me. So I can teach it from that point and from that conviction, because I know that I know that I know. So I'm just going to share that way, right?
Yeah.
I love to teach. What is it for you that you say, well, I still got, I got life, I got marriage, I got parenting, I got, life and my career. But you know what? I want to teach. I want to teach. Why is that?
I think part of it is the same thing you're talking about, is the passion. The other part is, I love training. I love being on the mat. Like I always say, that's the one place that everything that I do there when I'm training myself is for me.
Yeah.
When I step on the mat to train, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter the things I have to do at work or at home. Everything else is cleared. This is something that I'm doing 100% for me. It's not for anyone else beside myself. So when it comes to teaching, the other thing I feel is that anytime I teach something to somebody else, I learn it better myself. So whether it's
right.
a kick or a punch, or it's a leadership skill or a confidence builder, as I'm teaching it to somebody else, I know I'm learning it better myself. So even as I'm teaching others, I'm still improving myself at the same time.
Right. Correct. It's like that's literally the double-edged sword right there. Iron sharpening iron. You're teaching it and getting better. You're teaching it and getting better. That's so true.
Yes.
That is so true.
Yep.
Wow. Powerful. So we're coming to the end of our time here, Ms.Annette. What is the one thing or tip that you can give the parent that's on the sideline? Because, we always get the parent involved, parents as coaches and holding the board, the fitness, and we want the parent to have that experience and create that memory, and it goes, you and a lot of the parents in Sovereign have gone to the next level of support, where you are physically, mentally, emotional, and verbally supportive, What do you got to say to that parent? What are they missing, right? That parents like you are actually benefiting from, that they don't know they're missing, but if they got in, what is that?
So I could think of two things. One, obviously the creating memories. I know as a parent, you tend to be your own worst critic. You tend to wonder if you're doing the right thing by your kids. They don't come with a manual to tell you how to raise your children. But one of the things I realize is that when I train with my daughters, regardless of how good I could throw a technique or how terrible it is, in terms of being technical, it's almost like my girls see me as a superhero. So it's just when I'm on the mat with them, they see it as like, wow, mom's here with us. And it kind of gives them this extra level of how much they love doing it, because now we're doing it together. So like I said, I could throw the most terrible kick in the world, but to them, it doesn't matter because I did it with them. So they, just building those memories, like when we did the tournaments, like we've done the Shihai or the Battle of the Warriors that we did together, seeing their excitement when I'm competing, and then like that proud moment I have watching them compete, it gives us an extra bond that I don't think you get when you're not involved with them.
100%. Yeah.
If you watch your kids, playing soccer, for example, my girls play soccer. They're excellent soccer players. I don't play soccer. I don't like playing soccer. I have no interest in playing soccer. So I can't relate to them with soccer. I can barely, dribble the ball. so that there's no common ground for us. There's nothing for us to kind of team up with when it comes to soccer. But when it comes to karate, we are all on that same page and we're all doing something together that we love. So I think that's a big part of it, of being able to be on the mat with them, is, partly cheering them on, and partly they want to be better because they're also like their superhero is here and they want to be just like that. So I know one of my daughters now is saying she wants to be a sensei now.
Whoa, look at that.
So I've been, they found out about the Storm team not too long ago.
Whoa.
And they knew I'm doing SIT. And she was asking me after class, like, how did I do today? Because I was working with her on her stances. And she's like, because I want to be a sensei.
Wow.
Okay. So, and I don't think they would have that same level of passion if it wasn't something we were all doing together.
Yeah, it's another good point you make right there, because like, I think about, kids that they do it because they love it, right? They like it. But eventually comes a challenging time that if they don't have the support, it's kind of like they veer off, right? Different than if a parent is there or at least a mentor that's right there believing in them and they rely on them. They don't want to let them down. Yep. So they stay on course. But if they don't have that, boom, they're out. And they could have been good. They could have been great and all of that. And I think it also gives them a sense of assurance, where they can actually look to the left or the right and there's mom or dad, they're like, that feels good. It's like another validation for them, yep. Very powerful. Good point.
Yep.
Very good point. But I do have one more question, right? Okay. So here it is, right? For the student body of Sovereign, and they'll listen to this and hear it, and parents are hearing and watching and all of that. What do you got to say to them about SIT?
So SIT, I was just talking about this a little earlier today, actually. It pretty much, we sit in class and we talk about, we have our student creeds and we talk about, the leadership qualities and living by the principles of a black belt and the integrity and the perseverance and everything. I think when you start going into the leadership classes and then SIT, it takes that to a whole new level. So it's taking those things those qualities that you learn on the mat, not just the kick and punch, but those qualities of self-development, and it takes it to another level where you are able to develop yourself in a way well beyond what you thought you could do. So especially, I'd say confidence and leadership are probably two big ones. In my job, there's a lot of situations where I do have to speak to large groups of people. And again, thinking back, there was a time where I wouldn't speak to anybody. Right? Yes.
Who would have done that? You would do that.
Yeah. And now there's times I have to speak in front of a few hundred people, and it doesn't really, of course, like anybody, I'm not going to just walk up there like nothing, but at the same time, I have a certain level of confidence that I would have never had before.
Right. Yeah.
And then from a leadership perspective, I do lead a team at work. I have people who report to me. I have to do performance appraisals and all those fun things that come with being a boss. But I think SIT has made me a better leader.
Wow.
In terms of some, the skills I've learned, I've been able to transfer into my corporate life. So those leadership qualities, you know, especially our company is going through a lot of change right now. And that usually, you know, makes a lot of uncertainty, a lot of turmoil, and being able to have those leadership skills and do the change management that comes with those situations. You know, it's not something you learn by just sitting at home. So
Right.
those are the types of things you can learn from SIT.
Wow. Wow. Powerful. Miss Annette, what a pleasure to have you share and be part of Sovereign and integrate you with the team and use your expertise to better Sovereign and all of that. I feel totally blessed. You know, my wife and I feel totally blessed that you're part of it. And I think it's just the beginning of our relationship with you and your family. And I'm really excited that you're here with us, like totally.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for
Good.
being on, all right? I'm
Yes,
gonna
thank you.
end this now. Have a nice day, everyone. And this was Ms. Annette Vasquez.